Hi, I'm Becky and I'm here to show you how to make the teddy bear templates from threaders. They're going to look like this. So you've got some really beautiful outfits you can make here. There's a little dress you can make, and there's also a little frilly top with matching shorts. You'll also find in here that we've added some different shape ears that you can make for your teddy bear. So you can make them into a rabbit or a little mouse. So you can really personalise the toy that you're going to be making. So when you open up your templates, this is what you're going to see. In your teddy bear's outfit set number 1, you will get the shapes to make, or the templates to make the dress and the frilly top and the shorts, but you will also be getting some extra things. So we have a little bow, we've also got different types of ears. So you can make mouse ears and also rabbit ears, and you've got a little carrot that you could be making as well. So these are very easy to follow. You will see here, they're cut out of thick plastic, and you will have little notches, little marks, where you're able to put your pen, your heat erasable pen, or you can use some of our marker spray or some tailor's chalk to mark where you're going to be laying these out. You'll also notice in some of the places you'll have this line. This line indicates the grain of the fabric. So you'll need to be cutting things generally on a straight part of the fabric. So you'll notice that all of these pieces, everything is showing it as straight. On some of the other designs, you may find that you're going to be using it at an angle, and that's just a way of making sure that your fabric doesn't sort of stretch when you're using it. All the details are featured inside the instruction manual, and it will show you exactly how to cut them out, and it will also tell you how many of each piece you need to cut. So if you need to cut things out of lining fabric and whether you need to cut them out of outer fabric. And we've given you step-by-step instructions in order for you to see exactly how you're going to be putting all these beautiful outfits together. So we cut out the fabric. We're going to cut 2 pieces, one out of lining fabric and one out of the actual outer fabric of the little design. And we cut one piece like this, and then we cut one piece, or 2 pieces like this. And we're going to attach them first of all with a seam at the top. And we're going to do that for both sides, both the outer fabric and the lining, and then we're going to stitch them together and then turn them inside out, or the right way round, which is what we've just done here. So you can see if I fold it over, this makes the front or the top of the dress here, and it's all lined inside. And then at the back, we've got this opening here, which is the back of the dress. So very, very simple piece to make. Then we work on the skirt. So the skirt isn't lined, but we take a piece of fabric and we have just finished off each of the short seams down here and here, and then we've also finished off the seam here. Now we're going to pop this through our sewing machine. Now you can do this by hand, but what we're going to do is we're going to sew around and gather the top of this so we can make a pretty frilly kind of dress. So if you want to use you can do it by sort of stitching by hand, but if you want to use it by using your sewing machine, you want to use a straight stitch and you want to use the longest stitch possible, and we're going to pull everything together to make it all frilly. So I'm going to take my sewing machine, I'm going to change my stitch length to the maximum. On this one it's 4.5 millimeters, and we're going to start by stitching, again using 1/4 inch seam allowance here. And we're not going to use the back stitch, front and back, at the beginning and the end, because we want to pull the threads through. So this is quite important to use a strong thread. You won't want to use a silk thread that might break. You want to use something a little bit stronger like a polyester. So we're just stitching through very, very simply, not using any special stitches on the machine, just using a long stitch, and we're just using the longest stitch we actually have on the sewing machine. So after you've stitched your dress together, you're going to pull and you're going to get a frill all the way around your skirt. So this is what we're going to attach to the bodice of the dress. So you can see here, It's not going to necessarily be exactly the right size because you're just going to have to move it around. And then once you've got the right size, we will then attach that to the bodice of the dress. So we'll sew along these seams first of all before we attach it, and then we're going to stitch this to this, and then we've almost finished our dress. So in order to stitch these pieces together, I'm just going to open up here. I'm going to put those together. I'm going to stitch along these little seams here. So again, make sure you have your stitch length on 2, and we're going to stitch in these little pieces here. Using our 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm just keeping my needle in, and when I get to this point here, and then I can then stitch across here. Now we've stitched down this side, we're going to do exactly the same on this side as well, and then we're going to pin everything to the skirt and bodice together, and then stitch around. So we would put this right sides together, and then you just make sure that you've got an equal amount of frill around the edge, and then we would attach it just like this using the sewing machine, or you can do it by hand and stitch all the way around the edge. So you can see it's all been sewn together around the edge here, and just trimmed off, neatened a little bit. And you can see we've made sure that the frill is evenly spaced all the way around the dress. So the dress is almost finished now. You can see it will fold around the back like so. So we're going to put a couple of little poppers here in order to secure it. This part of the skirt sort of stays open because the teddy bears have got quite a big bottom. So we're just going to put some little poppers just up here. So when you're ready to put your poppers on your dress, you just need to decide where you're going to be putting them. So we're just going to have a little bit of an overlap at the back here. So I'm going to pop mine just about here. So I'm going to take it to my piece of lino, or you can use a piece of cork or anything that's got that's sort of quite solid. And we're going to press the screw punch just down, and that will create a little bit of a hole. But if you did that on a table, you would make a hole in your table. And so we want to choose the right pieces for the popper. So I'm going to use this bit here, and then this one here. And I'm going to use the little tools that come with your little snap fasteners and a hammer. And then you can see that that has been secured on there. And then we just need to make sure that you put your other part of your popper in the same place on the other piece of fabric. So we're going to line that up. I'm going to do it by eye. See, it's just by that little rosebud. I'm going to make another hole just here. And then I'm going to use the other pieces of the popper, the snap fastener. So you can see that that is the part that you would actually see. So that's the one that's nice and smooth. So we're going to put that over the front here, and we're going to use this little piece. This little thing comes with your snap fastening pack, and it's just a little sort of metal part to hold onto all of the stop anything from slipping. It keeps everything in the right place. And we're going to use the other tool. I'm going to just insert that into that little gap there, and then give it a bang. And then that's secured. So when we want to put our best together and pop the snap fasteners there, and we'll do all of them in exactly the same way. So we'll probably do another one just down here. You've almost finished your dress now. You just need to pop on your little teddy bear. Now we're going to make the little shorts for your teddy bear. So we're going to be cutting 2 pieces of the front and 2 pieces of the rear of the shorts. So you can see they're slightly different shapes, and this is to take into account the shape of the teddy bear's body. So we're going to cut 2, and I'm just using some plain fabric, again sewing with your 1/4 inch seam allowance, and if you want to just sort of trim in around the curves. So what I've done here is I've already cut them out, and I've already sewn them together here and also along the little legs on the inside seam. So we've now got the teddy bear shorts all attached together in the middle, but not attached around the outside. So we're going to finish those off by sewing down the side seams here. And I've also sewn up a little bit of a hem at the very bottom of those, and you can use a decorative stitch. Now on the very top here, I've used a zigzag stitch just to finish it off, because the fabric might fray, and we're going to be folding this over, so you can just use a zigzag stitch on your machine just to neaten those off, or if you have an overlocker, you can neaten them off with one of those. Then we're going to fold this down around about 1/2 inch, and we're going to sew around this to create a little bit of a channel for us to put some elastic through. So I'm just going to fold those over. And if you take your elastic and you just measure around your teddy bear's tummy, because obviously every teddy bear has a different size tummy, and just make sure you've got the right size. And then we're just going to stitch around here. So I'll take a few pins just to make sure they're all it's all nice and even, and we'll sew along to create this channel. So now we've stitched around the edge and we've got a little bit of a channel here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpick at the very edge of this seam just a few stitches just here, so I can open this up and then I can put through the elastic. So just be a little bit careful. Just need to find the little space to put your elastic through. I've put a little knot in the end of my elastic here just to make it a little bit easier to thread through. So you're just feeling and pulling it through so it goes all the way around the edge of this little valley that we've created, this little gully that's going around. And then turn your shorts the right way round. And then they're ready to pop onto your little teddy bear. We're going to start now by making the frilly top top, which goes really well with the little shorts that we've got. And we've cut the two pieces of fabric. So we've got the large piece of fabric, which makes the main body of the top. And then we've got the other little piece, which is the frill. Now I've folded that over a couple of times and I've put a nice sort of seam on there so it's finished off nicely. So you're going to have two of these, one for the top, one for the front and one for the rear. And then your frill is going to attach itself, or you're going to attach it right sides, or with both the right sides facing up, and you put your raw edges here. So you've got two pieces of fabric sewn like this. So you've got a little sort of flap here. This makes the frilly part, and this makes the rest of the little top. So you'll do two like that, and then once you've put them together, you will fold them out this way, so the wrong sides, and you're going to be, right sides together, and you're going to sew down either side to make the side seams. We've done that already. Now I've finished off just at the top here with a little bit of a zigzag, or you can use your overlocker, just so you've got a nice neat edge. And I've just done a kind of a basting stitch around here, just to hold everything in place. So I'm going to turn it round the other way so you can see how it looks. So you've got this little piece here which is going to make the frill, and this is the body here. Now we're going to pop it on the sewing machine and we're going to stitch along here to make a little channel to put some elastic into. So I've taken my body of the top, and I've taken out that running stitch that I had in there, which was holding everything secure. So once you've sewn down your side seams, you just need to take that out. Then I'm going to fold this over like so. So around about 1/2 inch, something like that. And we're going to sew with the sewing machine around that to create a channel for the elastic to go into the little top. We're just using our normal straight stitch on your sewing machine. Just sew around to create this little channel for the elastic. So trim your threads so you don't get in a mess. Trim these threads away, and then we're just going to open up this side seam slightly. So this is where we're going to be inserting our elastic. So I just trim that away. I'll just make a little hole in order for us to insert the elastic. And we're just going to thread that through. So you can see I'm pushing against the little safety pin and then moving the fabric over the elastic. So you just need to move it all the way around. Obviously where you get your seams, it's a little bit thicker, so it might just need a little bit of fiddling around for you to find the place where that little channel. And we're nearly at the end now. You can see that because the elastic is sort of pulling, if we hadn't attached this piece, the sort of end of the elastic, it may have already sort of headed through the channel. And then we're going to tie it off. So the next thing we're going to do are the straps. So the straps are made from a small piece of rectangular fabric, which we are going to fold in half to make the line here. And then we're going to fold each of these raw edges up to the middle, like so, and then we're going to fold again. So it tucks all those raw edges inside, and then we're going to sew them together. So we've got 2 here, ready sewn to pop onto our little top. So we're going to take a look at the top and just make sure you've got your side seams in the right place. And then we're going to attach each strap to the front and then to the rear to create the little top. We're going to do that by hand sewing. So now you've popped your straps on there, you've got your little frilled top. It's going to fit perfectly and go really well with the little shorts that we've already made. So here we have your little dress, your shorts and your frilly top all ready to dress your teddy bear. So this is using the Threaders Teddy Bear Outfit set number 1.